Hello, this is Reindeer's Bees, and today I'm going to be doing part 3 of a beginner's guide to beekeeping. Today is going to be completely devoted to costs. So beekeeping is pretty expensive. So if you're getting started, I think it's best to know how much you're really going to invest into it, which is, spoiler alert, a lot of money. So these estimates are rough estimates, they're not exact. Depends on what equipment you buy. I'm estimating that you're doing all 10 frame. Some people do 8 frame or 9 frame equipment, so that could make some difference. Yeah, just it's not exact, but this should give you an idea of, with a couple different setups, how much it will really cost you. I'll give you an estimate about a 5 medium setup. So 3 mediums for brood, 2 for honey supers. A double deep setup with 2 deeps and 2 mediums for supers, as well as what I would prefer, which would be 1 deep plus 3 mediums. So it's single deep management with that. So I did a rough estimate for each one of them, and it was $250 for the single deep setup. So that includes the bottom board, the inner cover, the feeder, the pollen patties, everything. It's about $250 for that setup. Then the double deep plus 2 supers, that's about $290. And the triple medium, I had it priced out at about $330. So medium's the most expensive just because you have to buy the most equipment. It's 5 mediums, so it's a lot. And I have supers included in all these sets because while a new beekeeper in their first year may not get that far, you always need to have more equipment than you think. Because if you, let's say you only buy 1 super instead of 2, and your bees need it, then you're gonna have to go out and scrounge around and try to paint it last second and assemble it, or buy it assembled. It'll cost you more money. So I think it's really important for beekeepers to have extra equipment and be planned for, best case scenario that your hive gets 3 supers done or 2 supers done if they're double deep. All of this is, I'm assuming that you assemble it, so it's priced for unassembled equipment, because I assemble all my equipment, so that's just how I did that. It'd be more expensive if it was assembled equipment. So that's something else to keep in mind. So most beekeepers say to start out with 2 hives, and I really agree with this. My first year, we only started out with 1 hive, and it went okay because my hive survived through the winter. But the next spring, it was really small, but I had no idea that it was really small because I didn't have any other hive to compare it to. And so that second spring it died because the queen started to fail. But if I had had another hive, I could have put brood in there and they probably would have made a new queen, because the eggs from the other hive would have had fertilized, or the brood from the other hive, the eggs, the larvae, would have been fertilized. And so the bees in that hive would have been able to make a new queen and probably could have survived. But since I only had 1 hive, I didn't know what it was supposed to look like, so I didn't really know there was anything wrong. And then once at the point that I did know something was wrong, all I could do was add a new queen, which they just killed. And even if the queen had survived, there was like 20 bees left in the hive, so it wouldn't have really mattered anyways. So that's kind of a story of why it's important to have 2 hives, because one, you have something to compare to, and the other reason that's very important is because you need to have 2 hives so you can spread resources between. So when I estimated, what it would cost for each hive, hive equipment, I always did, 2 hive setups, plus I estimated roughly the basic beekeeping tools you'll need, like a smoker, a hive tool, a bee jacket. I think those were the main things that I put into the estimate, just to keep it simple. But there's a million other bee gadgets that you could buy as well. And so I think the basic bee equipment, as far as, smoker, hive tool, and bee jacket, I guess that was about $250. Gloves were in there too. And then you add that to the actual bees. So, and even if you can afford it, it's ideal to even buy 1 extra hive. So let's say you bought 2 packages or 2 nukes, you should ideally have a 3rd hive. So in case one of them swarms, you can put it right in that and you don't have to rush to get equipment. That's important too. So make sure that if you have enough money, that'd be a good idea. I should have put it in the estimate, but I didn't end up doing that. So the full estimate for the single deep plus 3 supers the basic hive equipment and 2 nukes was $1,110. The double deep setup with 2 supers and 2 nukes was $1,190, and then the 5 medium setup with 2 nukes was $1,310. So it's not cheap at all, to say the least. But I think that would be that'd be pretty close, within a couple $100 of how much it would take to buy those first 2 hives plus 2 nukes. Then I estimated the nuke prices and the package prices. Nukes are generally between $185 and $250, and I just estimated it to be $200. And then the packages would be, I think, like $130 to $165, and I priced them out at $150. So for the if you bought packages, the single deep plus 3 supers in 2 packages would be $1,010. The 3 double deep setup in 2 packages would be $1,090. And the 5 medium setup with 3 for brood, 2 for supers would be 2 packages, and 2 packages would be $1,210. So with all of these estimates, you're looking at over $1,000 to get started. And probably even a little bit, well, more than that, because that's what the estimate said, but also you should probably buy another hive. So if you're buying 2 packages or 2 nukes or one of both, then you should also have a 3rd hive in case they swarm or they need to be split or whatever it might be. So beekeeping isn't cheap, but I think this will give you an idea if it's too big of an investment for you or something you're willing to do, because it's important to know. I've blown, I don't know, maybe $6,000 to $10,000 in bees, and I don't regret it, but it's definitely a lot of money, and I just figure it's important for people to know how much it really is. So like and subscribe, comment down below, hit that bell to be notified when I upload. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Reindeers Bees, and I'll see you in the next one.